Well, we'll be continuing our focus on the fate of those persons who are usually paraded by the police and someone that end up being a within trial mate. And yes, it also has to do with not just the police now, the judicial system. Well, we're joined this morning, as you may have seen in that welcoming slide, by Mr. Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Well, this, of course, raises a lot of concern for so many people. First of all, they wonder, because the comment that is said, put out by the police when they parade some of these persons is that these people have confessed to certain crimes. And one wonders, okay, so do they predicate that whatever they do, or investigation, not even investigation, do they predicate whatever they do with the confessions from those lads? Do they go on with investigation? And in most cases, these persons, what happens to them? Do they end up behind the scenes? What have you seen? You've been involved in this for a while now.
Well, apart from the EFCC and the customs, all law enforcement agencies in Nigeria engage in the legal parade of suspects, criminal suspects.
Oh, it's illegal?
Yeah, very, very illegal, because it's prejudicial to the right of the accused persons to fair hearing. When you arrest a suspect before investigation, or in the middle of investigation, or even upon conclusion of investigation, you rush to the media to parade them and tell the whole world, the suspect, they've made confessional statements. That is contrary to the provisions of the right to fair hearing guaranteed by the Constitution, Section 36 of the Constitution and Article 7 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights Act. And if you look at it, it's a class matter. You only parade the poor. I mean, you cannot parade. I've never seen a situation where a former governor was paraded or a big shot in the society. So it's limited to the poor. Armed robbery suspects, 419 boys, not the big ones, Yahoo boys, and ordinary people. But with respect to the rich, you dare not do that. On one occasion, the late Falana Nicola Fokuti was paraded by the NDLA. That organization regretted the action because we went to court and sued for colossal damages. At that time, I think 1997, we were asking the NDLA to pay 100 million naira for parading Fela. And on that occasion, Fela made a mockery of the system, having been paraded in handcuffs by the chairman of the NDLA then, Major General Musa Bamayi, who was very happy that he did it. Fela quietly asked for the statement they wanted him to sign. That is with respect to what had been seized in his house, which some weeds were seized in his house, suspected to be marijuana. So Fela signed the exhibit form. After signing, he then put in chains. Unknown to the NDLA operatives, he left the document. So when it dawned on them, on the prosecution team, that Fela had made a mockery of the investigation, they had to approach me for settlement out of court. In other words, they wanted us to withdraw a civil case so that they could withdraw their own criminal case, because there was no way you could succeed in prosecuting Fela, because he had already made the point that he signed that statement under torture, which is not admissible in our court. And the whole world has seen him paraded in chains. So he was trying to say that he signed the document in chains under torture, So, but for the rich, you dare not do it. You pay for it.
But does that presuppose, or does that necessarily mean that parading them means that they are guilty? Because, it's still...
No, when you do that, you have told the whole world, you call it trial by media, parade. You try the people by using the instrumentality of the media. It may turn out later after the investigation that the suspect has nothing to do with the crime, he may be freed because he has not been charged to court. The police or the state security service or any of the other agencies has no power to pronounce on the guilt or otherwise of a suspect. Because under our law, there is presumption of innocence, which inures in favor of a suspect. So until he or she has gone through the gamut of a trial and is pronounced guilty or otherwise by a court, you dare not pronounce guilt.
Oh, only very recently.
And in any case, most of the so-called confessional statements are not admissible in court.
Wow.
Because they are obtained by torture. I mean, through, all manners of illegal means. And in many cases, the confessional statements are thrown out of court.
But sorry, Mark, when you say most of them are obtained by torture, some would also, I have also heard arguments that your colleagues, lawyers, they bring up that kind of argument because sometimes some of these people willingly on their own volition confess.
No. It is not common in Nigeria for a criminal suspect to admit guilt. What has been done in Lagos now, based on the abuse of the rights of suspects, because when you are given a charge sheet, I don't know whether you have had any contact with the police before or the state security service, you are told, it's boldly written, that you are not obliged to make a statement, but whatever you say may be used in evidence against you. If you dare in a police station maintain your innocence and that you don't want to say anything, of course, you are going to be tortured until you are forced to make a statement. And lawyers are not allowed. In a police station, you are simply told, please, when we get to court, you can see your client. Whereas under the law, you are entitled to seek legal advice from your client to know your rights under the law.
Even before writing a
statement. Yes. You are not, in the first place, you are not obliged to make a statement. And if you are going to make one, you are supposed to seek legal advice if you have access to your lawyers. But all these rights are not respected with respect to the poor. But when it comes to the rich, if you want to, you talk of invitation, you don't invite the poor. You invade their houses and arrest them. But when the EFCC or the police wants to have what they call interaction with a big man or a big woman, you write politely, please, can you interview the undersigned? But you don't say that to a poor man. So this is the problem. We now have a situation in our country where the criminal justice system has been completely hijacked. Hijacked by the rich. So only the poor are reloaded to jail on a daily basis.
Who do we put the blame on now? Because
the criminal justice system, the legal system, and the ruling class, the system. In other parts of the world, including Ghana here, including South Africa, I don't want to talk of Europe and America, and that is the difference between our countries and those societies that are trying to get it right. Under the criminal justice system, pray you are not caught. Once you are caught, the law deals with you. But here, in those societies, the law is higher than everybody. But here, individuals are higher than the law. And that is why we're in a mess.
Now, for the purpose of this discussion, we have like two different scenarios, and perhaps one of them might pop up now. The case of the police parading some suspects in Ondo State over a robbery incident, and you see that some of the suspects, I think, givers of stolen vehicles and motorcycles, and it would seem that what you're seeing is reactions of regret, or if I had known, I wouldn't have done this. What do we make, or what do we paint of this kind of scenario? How would lawyers, or even say a court of law, view this?
If you know what those guys must have gone through, you'll be horrified, right? That is not to speak for them, but I'm talking from personal experience. And market, that may be the end of those guys. That may be the end of those guys. Once armed robbery suspects are paraded in Nigeria, usually by the commissioner of police of a state. That is the end of the matter.
It doesn't get to court.
They don't go to court any longer. They are simply extrajudicially executed. We've taken it up on a regular basis. And what you are simply told is that, sorry, they were trying to escape and we shot them dead. You know, on a regular basis, you have this parade of armed robbery suspects. Find out from any commissioner of police, in which courts are they being tried?
Now
Nowhere.
They're all holding their placards here.
Oh, yes. Where, you know, you don't make a confessional statement and write in a as if you are demonstrating. I mean, it's not a bib, a placard matter.